Hey, comic friends, I'm Travis. Time to talk some superheroes. This is comics for the week of, I want to say, August 27th. Why do I do this? You getting used to me doing this at the beginning of all these videos? Having to look to see what the date is? Does it matter? I guess it matters to me. If it doesn't matter to anybody else. Oh, and I guessed right. August 27th. How about that? 2014. Let's talk some comics. First up, let's talk Batman Eternal. This is issue number 21. I love this cover. This is an awesome cover. The syringe, the skulls floating around in it. You know, somebody in the background. Alfred being all MI6 here with the handgun. Some interesting things happen in the story. First complaint, I'll complain to start with. No spoiler in this whatsoever. We get that splash page at the end of the last one. Kind of, ooh, here's spoiler, which seemed very random when it came out. And then nothing in this one. And a lot of this felt like it was a scramble to kind of clean stuff up for whatever's coming next. So, and some of the guys have said that that's kind of what it was a cleanup to get on to the next parts of the story. Another complaint in it, not that I hated this issue, it wasn't the strongest, but another complaint in it is it looks like that Bruce Wayne, Batman's going to get exposed in this. Alfred gets taken out, and he kind of directs his daughter, who isn't a dumb woman. I mean, she works as some sort of a clandestine FBI type agent. I can't remember exactly who she works for, but that's that sort of government agent type thing. And he's kind of exposing her to Batman secrets, potentially, because there's some really bad stuff going on in the mansion. So that kind of sucks in that sense. So, yeah. And if you've watched videos with me, I always hate it when Batman's identity gets exposed to anybody. So that is frustrating if that's really what's happening here. We'll see. Hasn't completely happened. I've spent the last 20 issues trying to figure out who it was manipulating all these people around. Kind of been going through the Batman rogues gallery, figuring it has to be some person who's already part of his gallery, not a new person that's making this stuff happen. We get exposed to potentially who it is that's doing it here. And if that's the case, I'm kind of kicking myself for not having thought of it. It's relatively obvious once you are exposed to that. So that's kind of a bummer that I didn't figure that out, but that's okay. You know, I mean, it was a blind spot, I guess, that character. So that's kind of interesting if that's going to be the actual thing. We learn out more about our lieutenant, soon-to-be commissioner, Bard. Comes across as being potentially a bad guy in here. Vicky Vale seems to have a different kind of motivation. It never struck me as that she was a money, fame motivation as much as kind of like along the same lines of Lois Lane. The fame is nice, but she really wants to get the heart of a real truth, of a real story, and that's not how she's portrayed here. So I don't know if she's playing a longer game, and we're just seeing the short term of her own manipulation that she's doing to get what she needs, to get the story that she wants. So that's kind of interesting. Anyway, yeah, Batman Eternal. Not bad, still really enjoying it. I don't plan on dropping it. It's fun to have this kind of story that's just cranking right along all the time. Anyway, issue number 4 of COWL. Still really liking this. Our heroes now are officially on strike. They have a picket line. The cops are on one side of it. They're on the other side of it. You know, there's some tension there, obviously. As they're trying to work this stuff out, we have 2 of the people from COWL who are, well, basically breaking the lines. They're out doing their own work. They're friends of Grant, our non-superpower guy who got so massively beat up. They're going around and they're busting up all of this one crime boss's stuff, wrecking it, beating up super villains if they can come across them. Just to let people know they're wearing masks, so no one knows who they are, but they're putting out the word that you better not be using superpowered people to leverage against cops and regular people while this whole strike thing's going on, or there's going to be hell to pay, kind of a thing. Also, our investigator who works for COWL, who's discovered that all of the old, outdated tech that's missing is missing. Runs into the president of COWL. He kind of goes, yeah, we know that's what's happening, but we need to hold off and be quiet about it right now because we don't need this bad press while we're trying to work out our negotiations. So is that really what's happening or not? We don't know. I kind of like that part of that kind of manipulating political machine that's going on within COWL. I am actually really interested in the union aspect of this. That is really curious. And so, yeah, I'm enjoying it. The art's great. It's kind of a Bill Sekowitz. That's how I say his last name. I don't know. Pretty significant artist in the mid to late 80s. Did lots of ink work and lots of painted type work on lots of different covers and whatnot. Did a oversized Daredevil graphic novel in the past. Did a great run of New Mutant covers and stuff like that. But I really like it. I like the colors they use. Yeah, it's just actually surprisingly more enjoyable than what I thought it was. Than what I thought it was going to be. And finally, only have 3 books this week as far as superheroes goes. We have The Sundowners. Premise of this book is, this is issue number 1, out by Dark Horse, written by Tim Seeley, art by Jim Terry. Tim Seeley is one of the reasons why I picked the book up, because he writes Revival. He's writing some of the Batman Eternal. I've just been enjoying a lot of the work he's doing, so I figured I'll give this a shot. It's a different spin on superheroes. Basically, it's about a group of people who get together every night, and instead of it being an AA meeting, Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, it's kind of a superhero meeting. It's where people who have a nighttime identity and a night name, as they refer to it in here, and go out and fight crime or think they have superpowers or whatever, that they get together as kind of a self-help, as kind of a self-help group kind of a deal of them just talking things out and whatnot. There's a psychologist that's running the group. He seems to be recovering from some sort of trauma himself. We don't know exactly what his issue is, but obviously he has issues. We get to hear four people's stories in this first issue, kind of like, what's going on with you this week, and they kind of say, well, this is what happened with me last night, for the 4 of them, which kind of basically gives you an introduction to each of the characters, which is a great way, I think, of doing it, as opposed to giving us silly origin stories or whatever. So there's some really fun characters I think in here. There's a woman here, I can't remember exactly what her name is, but she has a tattoo on her back, and she believes that she basically has to commit sins to charge up a battery of superpower, and then she can go out and do superheroic things. So she shoplifts a lot, she swears a ton, and she does these minor crimes that supposedly builds up this battery so then she can have super strength or whatever. And we know in her story that it kind of fails her at a point where there's this massive track going on and whatnot. This guy that's on the cover here, I believe his name is Common Citizen, or something like that, something along those lines. He's kind of a street vigilante. You get the impression maybe he's extra strong or whatever. His things failed him this one night. We get this older gentleman who has suffered a stroke, so half his body doesn't work, so he slurs. It's hard to understand him when he talks and whatnot. He tells a story about how his stuff has failed. There's also a go-go dancer from a nightclub, and Crow. Her name is something Crow and Lolita mixed together. She tells a story about things go weird for her too. The person who's in charge of running the meeting, he's basically writing down that they have all got these different types of psychoses and whatnot. None of this is real. And then at the end of this, something actually really does happen. Somebody's being kidnapped. One of them gets kidnapped or attempted kidnapped. They all kind of run to the rescue, and things kind of fall apart, and that's where it's left at. I really like that. I like the art. I think it's good storytelling. It keeps a good pace. The art reminds me kind of Ryan Kelly, if you're familiar with his work with Saucer County. Like the last big project he did was 3 for Image. But good facial expressions, good storytelling. You kind of feel what's going on with the people. You know, body language is really good in it, I believe. Some great work. So really enjoyable. Excited to see where the book goes. Looking forward to reading it. I don't know, to tell you the truth, I don't know if it's an ongoing or if it's a mini-series. I don't think it's a mini-series. I think the intention is for it to be an ongoing. I just kind of like this different look at superheroes. It's superheroes, more reality-based in a sense. You know, they have this, them getting together as a group. It's not silly like if you've been reading Superior Foes of Spider-Man, where they have a villain group that gets together to try and talk things out so they keep themselves out of trouble. Villain Anonymous. It's not goofy like that. It's more of an actual real setting that might actually help people kind of thing. But very good. I really enjoyed it. And that is it for this week for superhero books. Catch me talking about No Capes somewhere else here, I'm sure. And catch you next week. Talk more superheroes.